There she blows. Hi, YouTube. We're good. All right. Okay, Bobo, I see you. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, you're down there. And you have claws. That's nice. All right, come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, baby. Ridiculous. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It just loves to be smushed into my stomach. Like this. Not content unless I'm doing this. Like pushing it in. It loves it. Strange creature, Bobo. Thank you. Okay. There we go. All right. Settle in there. Keep the tail down. Come on. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Excuse me again. I gotta go get my tea. That's what I need. Oh. There we go. Cool. Let's go. Oh, excuse me. Let me see if I have anything tagged since last night. Pennsylvania man arrested for allegedly feeding his pet parakeet marijuana and beer. Doesn't sound important, but it sounds interesting. Sign me up. Can I see the drunk and high parakeet, please? I want to see this on video. Was he like live streaming it? Oh, he's doing it in a bar for laughs. I mean, as long as the bird's happy. Hey. He feeds the parakeet marijuana and has it drink beer on a daily basis. Poor bird. And okay, I don't have anything else there. Cool. I know Steph does though. Hey, come on. What are you doing there? You guys can't see this, but the cat is just sitting on the arm of the chair. What are you doing? It's tiny. It's like sitting on, it's almost falling off. Look at this. You were such a weirdo. What are you doing? Come on. Come on. In the lap. Come on. Here you go. Come on. There you go. No. We're not gonna go play on the desk. Get in the lap or you can get down. Keep in mind. Up. Okay. There we go. Oh, I gotta pop out my D Live. There we go. I D Live, people. All right, what's first up here? Don't even think about it, Bobo. All right, that's all Trump last night. There's the morning. All right, so today the Trump admin has him meeting with the Secretary of the Interior, Burgum. Excuse me again. Participating in a Saving College Sports Roundtable. And that's it. Org Day. Yeah. What this? Herrera is officially the Republican nominee for the deep red districts. All right. Good. You like shooty stuff. That's cool. Gonzalez withdraws from a re-election campaign after pressure to do so. Bon voyage. Excuse me again. All right, give me a clip here so I can go get my tea. Need my caffeine now. Obviously. Long clip, long clip. Daddy needs a long clip. Come on. Oh, they're all short today. What the? There we go. Okay, Kiriakou. Saving the day. This guy will talk nonstop if you let him.
Do you think the Kurdish play is a distinct possibility?
Oh, I would say the chances are 100%. The Kurds have long worked with the United States. They are brave fighters, pro-American. We've worked with them very closely in the past against Saddam Hussein. We worked with them in Syria against Bashar al-Assad. This is a logical next step.
Okay, there they are doing cartwheels over flyer. That's an interesting training technique. I've never seen anybody do that before. But in all seriousness, what would be the strategy once they cross the border? To draw the Iranian units out, to go straight to the capital? Is it a decoy? Is it security? What would their role be?
I think it's probably the first. They likely couldn't make it all the way to Tehran without significant assistance from the United States, but I don't think that would be the goal. I think the goal would be to capture areas that historically have been Iranian Kurdistan and to draw the Revolutionary Guard out so that they would be that much easier to strike.
Do you see other ethnic groups move into Iran proper? We're hearing Azerbaijan got hit, and they got some hardcore fellas that have been licking their chops to go south for quite some time.
They do, and you know, one thing most people don't know, I think, is that there's the country of Azerbaijan, and then there's an Iranian province of Azerbaijan, and they're, of course, ethnically closely related. I think the Azeris were really, really angry when this strike came their way yesterday, I guess it was, and I think that they would be very happy to work with the United States on this.
Okay. Well, that wasn't quite enough time, but that's all right. Sure, we'll find another one. Eventually, one day.
Yesterday, this morning, I was
former
told
Iranian political prisoner Keen Tajbakhsh silences CNN panel and debunks Democrat lie that Trump started a war with Iran. Okay.
2 days ago, yesterday, this morning, I was told we were not at war. Today in the press conference, PKXF says, end the war. Are we at war? Are we not at war? Do we want regime change or do we not?
The president told the Iranian people in his very first
moment.
You know, I know this may sound controversial, and among my friends, some of them is controversial.
That's okay.
But I think that a lot of commentary is missing, perhaps, the big picture.
Yeah, I agree.
And there is a big picture here, and perhaps to simplify it, I would put it this way. I don't think it's right to say that President Trump has started a war with Iran. I think President Trump wants to finish a war that Iran started in 1979, 47 years ago. And these aren't just words. Let me just tell you an anecdote. In the 2003, 2004, when I was there in Iran, working on projects at a very high level, I was talking with deputy ministers, I was talking with, going back and forth, and I was in the foreign ministry in Tehran, where I met someone who was very senior, and he was semi-sympathetic with the projects we were doing. But as I was leaving, he looked me in the eye and he said, "You as an Iranian American, I want you to know something and listen very carefully." He said, "We in this building," and what he meant is the foreign ministry, which meant representing the government, which means representing the regime. He said, "We believe we are at war with the United States."
Someone else. Over there.
He said at that time, it's a Cold War, but it's a war nonetheless. This was a war.
I think that it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, where's everybody at over in YouTube chat? It's like quiet as heck over there. I don't know what's going on. Jeff's all alone. Usually a bunch of people in there. YouTube like censoring me or something? Like, what's the deal? YouTube. Oh, there's someone. Hi, B-Cup. All right. Excuse me. Well, I still gotta go pick up my cup of tea here. It's still not done straining, so. All right, we just did you. Now the you. No, you. There we go. Then we'll go back down.
Tensions are brewing between one of New England's most beloved brands and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. after he suggested the Trump administration could place limits on your morning cup of joe.
We're going to ask Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, show us the safety data that show that it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
Federal dietary guidelines published earlier this year recommend meals should have no more than 10 grams of added sugar, but nearly every drink on the Dunkin' menu exceeds that amount, and at least 6 have more than 100 grams. Still, many Bay Staters are standing by the chain.
I'm not choosing it as a healthy choice. It's kind of convenient, and it's my pick-me-up for the day.
And Governor Maura Healey responded with a simple dare. Come and take it.
Ultra-processed foods and beverages are bad for you, regardless of who happens to sell them. Your go-to beverage really shouldn't be liquid candy.
Studies show taxes on sugary drinks and photo warnings reduce consumption, but CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says a direct ban is unlikely.
It's going to require either new legislation and regulation or state and local governments stepping in where they can. The FDA is not the sugar police, and it can't ban sugar from beverages.
And the Department of Health and Human Services said it has strengthened reviews and closed loopholes, but did not clarify exactly what action Kennedy might take to stop businesses from selling high sugar drinks. Dunkin' and Starbucks have not responded to the secretary's comments. And guys, we wanted to show you exactly what 100 grams of sugar looks like. Now, make it make sense. Like, this actually goes into a drink, but with syrup. But this is a whole lot of sugar.
Gross, man. That's nasty. Now, Zang. I don't know.
Tensions are brewing between one of New England.
It is gross, though. That is a shitload of sugar, man. And that's in what drink? In what, just like the average soft drink? Yeah. High sugar drinks. Yeah. Oh,
have more
like
than
Dunkin'
100
coffees and stuff. Yeah.
grams. Still, many Bay Staters are standing by the chain.
Like all those frozen, these things. Oh my God. Obscene. Disgusting.
Are standing by the chain.
I'm not choosing it as a healthy choice.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's kind of convenient, and It's my pick-me-up for the day.
And Governor Maura Healey responded with a simple dare: come and take it.
Ultra-processed foods and beverages are bad for you, regardless of who happens to sell them. Your go-to beverage really shouldn't be liquid candy.
Studies show taxes on sugary drinks and photo.
That's pretty gross. I'm over here with like a half a spoon of honey in my tea, thinking like, oh gee, I probably shouldn't put that in there. God. Guess that isn't that bad. All right, let's go back down. Catch what we missed here. All the quick stuff. DC Court of Appeals just struck down DC's ban on firearm magazines over 10 rounds for violating the Second Amendment. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's yes. Fantastic. Good stuff. I'd love to be able to carry in the district. Finally. One more hurdle right there. That's a big deal. U.S. House just voted overwhelmingly to declare Iran as the largest state sponsor of terrorism. 53 Democrats voting no.
On this vote, the yeas are 372, the nays are 53, 2 recorded as present.
The yeas are 57.
2/3 being the affirmative, the rules.
Oh, sorry, 53. World's largest aircraft carrier is part of the team of U.S. dominating the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. Round-the-clock operations keeping U.S. Navy FA-18s in the fight. Yeah. Pumping like 80s music or something. Yeah, then we'd be talking. Tech investors sue the Trump admin and accuse it of violating the TikTok ban. Okay. Argues a deal was cut earlier this year for new investors to take over, but did not comply with the law. Basically. Plaintiffs are Zhao Cheng-Tan and Garrett Reed, who are investors in Google parent company Alphabet Inc. and Facebook parent Meta Platforms. Never heard of them. Sound like people probably worth looking into. Okay.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of! Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
F.A.
Time to find out.
Maximum effort.
Here it comes. Now end this! Flawless victory.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Well, Mortal Kombat, man.
Flawless victory. Now end this! Flawless victory.
where are they coming up with this shit? It's just so great.
Capable of. Finish.
Whoever they hired well. They definitely hired well. It was a good choice. Getting their money's worth. Okay, happening today. Trump meets with top defense contractors to ramp up weapons production as Operation Epic Fury intensifies.
The president is summoning these big defense contractors to the White House to talk about quickly replenishing stockpiles amid this war with Iran and open questions about how long the operation could last. Leaders from Lockheed Martin, RTX, L3 Harris, and others are expected to attend today. It follows this push for big defense companies to ramp up production of missile interceptors and reportedly coincides with a new $50 billion supplemental budget request that the White House is expected to send to Congress to replace weapons that are being used. That figure reportedly is preliminary and could change depending on the length of the operation. And it would come on top of the $150 billion in defense spending that was already included in the big, beautiful bill. That's according to Reuters. This afternoon will be the first time, though, that we see President Trump since he fired DHS Secretary Kristi Noem from the role that she was serving in and moved her to a newly created position as special envoy for the Shield of the Americas.
Been revealed that it's been revealed what weapon was used in the strike that killed Khamenei. All right.
Khomeini was having a meeting of his council, thinking war was imminent. So he brought all his leadership together. I believe 40. How do I know? Because 40 are dead. How did they get shot out of the sky? Well, Israel picked up the intelligence along with the CIA, and Israel decides to act on the president's green light. And they take what I think is an F-35, but I think the payload is more interesting. It's called the Blue Sparrow missile. But instead of the chance of maybe the jet being detected and the rocket being seen, they decided to use this Blue Sparrow that goes into the atmosphere 1,240 miles and then comes right down out of space into the target. Pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what we have pioneered, what the Israelis have pulled off. The warhead actually separated from the booster rocket, almost like the 1960s Apollo mission, and then went into a target and exploded the target and killed 40. It's estimated we've killed about 80 leaders to date. Meanwhile, CENTCOM Khomeini was having a meeting of his council.
Interesting tech. Huh. Weird. Shoots out, goes up, and then back down. Huh. Blue Sparrow. Okay. U.S. Senate rejected an effort to reopen DHS 51-45. Excuse me. President Trump's Space Force now surging the use of heat-sinking infrared beams to detect missiles the second they launch.
How we're going to pay for this.
Space Force was a joke.
Oh yeah, they
No one
laughed.
asks-
They laughed that shit off. They tried to pretend
How we're gonna pay
Space
for
Force was like, ooh, rocket ships and spacemen. Oh no.
Space Force.
There's no threat in space. Who are we fighting? Satellites?
When Trump talks about Space Force, he makes it sound like we're going to be on a rocket riding to the moon, like Space Force, riding up there and killing aliens.
Joke's on them. Space Force is a critical mission right now. They deployed heat-seeking infrared beams that detect missiles the second they launch so that our guys can take shelter when the rockets get neutralized. Space Force is working on U.S. soil, so they're out of harm's way. Thank God. Operation Space Force was a joke.
No one asks how we're going to pay for this Space Force.
There's no threat in space. Who are we fighting? Satellites?
When Trump talks about
Marjorie Taylor Greene pushes Tucker 2028. Tucker would beat Trump if he ran for president, and Trump tried to violate the Constitution and tried to run again for a third term. Well, yeah, I mean, with that whole third term thing, that might kind of throw a wrench in the mix. But if that aside, if they ran head to head, no, Trump would demolish him. No question. That's silly. Okay, we saw that one. China's 10-passenger electric aircraft, the Matrix, hints at how big flying taxis can be. Let's see. Whoa. Like a huge-ass freaking drone. Huh. Weird. Can we watch it? Yeah.
Behind me is the Matrix. This is the latest model created by a company called Autoflight. It's a 5-ton eVTOL that stands for electric vertical takeoff and landing. And
Interesting design.
Is considered the largest eVTOL so far, developed by this company and any other company. This is a Chinese company created in 2017, and they are aiming to do some commercial models eventually. One of the executives told us that it's going to take a few more years because they need to develop more of these models, but also get some licenses from authorities. But they see the future where the eVTOLs will be flying around the cities, not only in China, but maybe around the world.
Interesting. Halligan faces ethics probe in Florida. Lindsay Halligan. What happened there? And she's appointed in Virginia, so why Florida now? Okay. Florida bar has launched an ethics probe into Halligan. Liberal legal advocacy group Campaign for Accountability disclosed Thursday that it received a letter from the Florida bar stating that it has an open investigation into Halligan. Okay, the letter did not provide details about the inquiry, of course. Halligan did not respond immediately to requests for comment. Who knows? Epstein files. DOJ releases previously withheld FBI reports about sex abuse allegation against Trump. See?
The latest now in the Epstein files. Overnight, new documents released, including allegations against President Trump. Jay O'Brien has that story. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning to you, George. Overnight, under pressure from lawmakers who said it failed to release all Epstein-related files, the Department of Justice quietly posted 3 previously withheld FBI interview reports from 2019. Those reports contain uncorroborated allegations made against President Trump. Those files were initially missing from the more than 3 million pages of Epstein records released by the DOJ in January and were flagged by Democratic lawmakers who accused the department of holding them back to protect the president. The DOJ says they were mistakenly coded as duplicates. That's why they weren't released. According to these newly released reports, the FBI interviewed a woman about Jeffrey Epstein 4 times back in 2019. And in her second interview with investigators, she claims Epstein introduced her to Trump, who she alleges abused her when she was between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. Trump has denied any wrongdoing related to his relationship with Epstein or any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. And there are questions about the woman's claims, including the timeline the alleged interactions took place place in the early 1980s when Trump and Epstein did not appear to be in contact. In a follow-up FBI interview, the woman did not provide additional details about the alleged interactions with Trump when she was asked by investigators. Last month, the Justice Department said that some of the documents released in the Epstein files, quote, contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. But the DOJ is still facing questions about why these and other documents were withheld in the first place. The department released hundreds of additional pages of Epstein files overnight, again, weeks after it previously claimed that all the documents required by law had been made public, George.
Yeah, this story is not over yet. Okay, Jay, thanks very much.
Mr. Silly News Guy.
Straight to Chappaqua.
Okay. That was Slopadopoulos, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Okay, Moscow has girls. You didn't say. Inside Epstein's network from Palm Beach to the Kremlin. Moscow has girls. Okay. In his quest to build out an elite global network and satisfy his insatiable desire to procure women and girls to sexually abuse, Epstein often turned to Russia and its neighboring countries. Ukraine. Built relationships with many leading political and business figures from the region. Russian diplomat, Russian deputy minister, businessmen who built their fortunes in post-Soviet Eurasia. He lured women and girls from Eastern Europe and Central Asia into his trafficking network, thought little of his victims beyond sexual objects to be traded across borders. Once characterizing them as the best export of those countries. Saudi has oil, Moscow has girls. Girls, not women, mind you. Girls. Oh, thank you, mommy. Is it? Oh, bone broth, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you, honey. Look, egg on rice. That's good. All right, let's keep going. I need to eat that. Kristi Noem's saga grows more bizarre as IG accuses DHS of blocking investigations, including one involving Butler. What? What? In a letter to Congress, sent just days before Kristi Noem was removed from her post, Trump-appointed Inspector General Joe Kafari charged that DHS officials had systematically obstructed his team's ability to conduct investigations into allegations having a nexus to the department, as well as other audits and inspections of their operations. Wow. Letter documents several alleged instances in which leadership is said to have stymied the independent agency watchdog, including a critical probe into the Secret Service's failures involving the assassination attempt at Butler. Kafari alleges his team was denied access to a highly compartmentalized intelligence program essential to uncovering what went wrong. Wow. Sounds like this might have more to do with why she was cut loose. Jeez. Noem has denied the allegations, insisting she never blocked oversight, and the IG was simply required to narrow the scope of his requests. Okay. Members of Congress who voted against disclosing sexual harassment claims made against members of Congress. Yeah, who voted no on that shit? Give me a list, man. Dig through the article. Oh, I hate when articles do that. Just give me the goods right up there. Right up at the top. Thank you. An untold number of members of Congress have spent a combined roughly $17 million to settle sexual harassment claims. Okay. Uh, 38 Republicans and 27 Democrats voted in support of the resolution by voting against the motion to refer it to committee. Boebert said she was disgusted. Yeah. So when are we gonna get the list, man? Like, jeez. Didn't see it in there. No, nowhere to be found. This one we saw. Vaccine. Thanks. Nope. Early voting begins for Virginia redistricting referendum. Yeah, that's going on. This fucking battle here. They want to screw this shit up so bad. Oh my god. Yep. They want to increase the current 6-5 congressional split, favoring Democrats 10-1. Hence, reasonable. Not. Islamists in New York City will hold a vigil for Khamenei.
We want to help.
What do we got here? Secretary Wright.
Of course, the Trump administration, we want to help every state, but it is political choices that leaders make that make energy expensive. Like one of the reasons I'm here in New York, the New England states have crazy high electricity price for one reason. They blocked a natural gas pipeline that would go from Pennsylvania through New York State and lower everyone's electricity prices and allow job creation in New England. But the politics of, sort of a climate cult was we can't have any more hydrocarbons. We can't have any more hydrocarbons. They stand in the way of stuff and just make it more expensive. But of course, the Trump administration, we want to help every state. But
that one we saw. All right. Pentagon slapped a formal supply chain risk DES on Anthropic. You on that?
The Pentagon formally labelled AI lab Anthropic a supply chain risk on Thursday. It's limited the use of a technology a source said was being used for military operations in Iran. This risk designation, confirmed by an Anthropic statement, is effective immediately and bars government contractors from using the AI lab's technology in their work for the US military. But CEO Dario Amodei said the designation has a, quote, narrow scope, and a restriction only applies for the AI technology's use in Pentagon contracts. He added in a statement that companies can still use Anthropic's chatbot Claude in other projects unrelated to the Pentagon. This formal label follows a months-long dispute over the company's insistence on safeguards that the Defense Department said went too far. Amodei said the two sides have talked about how Anthropic might still work with the military without dismantling these safeguards. He reiterated that Anthropic would challenge this designation in court. The action represented an extraordinary rebuke by the US against an American tech company that was earlier than its rivals to work with the Pentagon. The Defense Department did not immediately return requests for comment.
Oh boy. Freaking Psaki talking with what's his name? Jack Hole. Waltz.
Everything you have been through, everything you have lived through, and the people of your state have.
Poor Timmy, you've been through so much.
Christy Noem is obviously
no, she's a nice little boy.
Out.
He's a good boy.
You've lived through so much.
Oh, he's a nice little guy.
What was your reaction this morning? What's been your reaction to the news?
Well, good to be with you, Jen. Well, good news has been kind of scarce since Kristi Noem and Donald Trump's folks showed up in December. And so glad she's gone, but I think you understand it and everybody else does. It's the people who are putting them in place, a rogues gallery of incompetent, cruel cabinet secretaries, and this one was particularly loathsome. But what I think we need to make clear is the damage that she's done here and continues to do. I remind your viewers that there's still 650 of these folks here. We're trying to recover from this, and it's going to take us years, and it may be generational trauma on our children. We don't know where our kids are at. We need answers. And so I'm glad she's gone, but it gives us an inflection point. And this is what I would really encourage Congress to do their job, Republicans in Congress. And as you're talking about, whether it's Senator Mullen, whoever it is, put the guardrails on right now. We need to be part of the investigations into Renee and Alex's death. We need to know where our children are at. We need them to quit taking Minnesota's money. So, I do think it's okay to celebrate at times and taking Minnesota's money. So, taking Minnesota's money.
Wait, what about taking Minnesota's money?
I do think it's okay to celebrate at times. And former Secretary Noem and I go way back, and the trouble started long before this when she chose not to address COVID and spread COVID throughout the upper Midwest, killing people across the area. And this incompetency then to be picked. I think it's really interesting what you said was she wasn't fired for killing Alex or Renee or being in charge of that. She wasn't fired for taking children. She wasn't fired for dragging American citizens out of their home with no shoes in underwear when it's 20 below zero. They only make changes when it becomes politically problematic for them, because they're not going to change what they want to do. They still want these mass deportations.
Yes.
Stephen Miller is still
You're right. Yeah. Yep.
Still there whispering in the president's ear, and they still believe they don't need warrants. They still believe they don't need to give us accountability for murdered Minnesotans. And so I think this is an inflection point that Kristi Noem was incompetent. She was cruel. She was terrible. But the institution at DHS and what was carried out and what the White House is saying, that's what needs to be addressed. That's one of our founding principles, that no one's above the law and they're accountable. I would just say at this time that that former Secretary Noem should probably get used to spending more time in Minnesota, because I have a pretty good feeling in the future she may be doing that, because we have got to get accountability. We need to know the people who are involved in this, and the ones that were caught on tape, and the brave Minnesotans. And again, they're out of Minnesota because Minnesotans took to the streets, and it turns out they like their constitutional rights. They like to protect their neighbors' human rights. And that's what Minnesotans did. And we need accountability on every single one of those. So from whether it's the murder of Renee and Alex, whether it's why Liam Ramos ended up in Texas, why we don't know where some of our children are, why they tell stories where a gentleman with a fractured skull tripped and fell in detainment, and the hundreds of other aggressions, all the way down to gassing of children with chemical munitions out there. It's ridiculous.
Oh, come on, dude.
And at this point in time, and I was on the Hill yesterday testifying in one of their diversions, Kristi Noem's down the way being asked to simply state calling Renee and Alex domestic terrorists is incredibly painful for Minnesotans and their family, and she doesn't even have the decency to do that. And so here's my question is, well, maybe the president could do that for her. Maybe the president could say, you're right, that's why she's gone, we could do this. So I don't know, on a day like this, I'm glad she's gone, but they just keep lining up sycophants. There's one qualification for this job, and that's loyalty to Donald Trump. And your story there of saying that, when she shot Cricket, all the rest of us are, of course, horrified by this, whatever. Donald Trump thinking that would be good for border security, boy, there's a psychology study right there of what they think about this. And that's the way they've approached this. The whole operation in Minnesota has been cruelty.
It tells you so much. I just want to...
Oh, my God, there's more.
Something you just said, because I think accountability is something so many people are hungry for in this country. When you say she should expect to spend some time, more time in Minnesota, what do you mean by that? Tell people watching what you mean by that.
Well, look, our folks are going to be looking into each and every one of these incidents that happened. We're going to want answers. Who gave the orders to do this? Who said that these folks could do that? Why within 20 minutes before understanding what happened, she found the need to slander Minnesotans, American citizens? Why did they not retract that? And why were Minnesota investigators at the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension not allowed to be on these scenes? Where's the evidence? We need the evidence to do this. And I know both County Attorney Moriarty, I know Attorney General Ellison. People are looking for accountability. That's what the system is. This isn't, as Donald Trump is, he came here on retribution. We're not looking for retribution. We're looking for justice. And we're looking to make sure that no one's above the law. So Kristi Noem, it sure seems to me there's a lot of unanswered questions. I wrote her in early December asking about the detainments. I wrote her in January, and I wrote her again this week, and I have not received an answer. We have children who we don't know where they're at. They're still unaccounted for. And I know that whether it's the war or it's Epstein or everything else, folks are moving on. We're still in the midst of this. She was still, until this morning, in charge of that, and they chose to totally ignore us. They chose not to answer. They don't believe they're accountable. And so I can't say it enough. Don't give them any money. Don't confirm a DHS secretary. Continue to drag them in front of you and put the guardrails around. If a DHS, ICE, Border Patrol, whoever it is, federal agent is involved in the killing or violence or violating constitutional rights, the states have to be able to be part of that investigation. And at this point in time, they're stonewalling us. And if you recall, on the third shooting we had here with the gentleman shot in the leg, she went after that. That was a planned attack. And that night she said she held me accountable as a domestic terrorist for encouraging them. Well, lo and behold, they were lying. And now those folks are supposed to be under investigation. But our folks were driven off that scene with the gas that was being thrown by ICE. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. And I think the way this White House operates is we'll get rid of this, we'll talk about something else, we'll flood the zone, and people will forget about it. I think what I'm saying to Kristi Noem is we will never forget. We will never rest until we get justice for the people that were harmed in this. And if we don't, and all the rest of your listeners, this is coming to your state. We were a testing ground, and the people of Minnesota pushed back. But
Uncle Tim, Coach Tim. Oversight Committee Chairman suggests criminal referrals are possible in Minnesota fraud probe. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then some. Just wait. Excuse me. Chairman Comer told Just the News that further criminal referrals are possible with the evidence his committee has uncovered of rampant welfare fraud in Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah. Waltz's day's coming. Ellison too. Pete Hegseth says the strikes on Iran could surge dramatically as Iran prepares for a possible U.S. ground invasion.
This morning, Iran saying they're preparing for a possible U.S. ground invasion, saying, quote, "We're waiting for them," and warning thousands would be killed. Overnight, an Iranian missile intercepted over Kuwait, debris igniting a large fire coming from the direction of the Ali al-Salam base, which hosts U.S. troops, in video verified by ABC News. While not ruling out boots on the ground, the U.S. hasn't announced any such plans. But Secretary Pete Hegseth saying the attacks on Iran are about to surge dramatically, with a stockpile of munitions ready for deployment.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation.
And President Trump saying the U.S. and Israel's operation to destroy Iran's military capability is far ahead of schedule.
We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible.
Overnight, U.S. Central Command releasing video of a strike targeting an Iranian drone carrier, part of their larger mission to sink the entire Iranian Navy.
We hit an Iranian drone carrier ship.
roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire.
Since day one, the US says Iranian missile attacks have gone down 90% and drone attacks down 83%. Meanwhile, the Israeli government claims they've destroyed more than 60% of Iran's ballistic missile launchers. ABC News now verifying the US and Israel have damaged or destroyed 13 Iranian missile bases deep underground. The US releasing new video showing B-52 bombers taking off, which have already struck multiple Iranian missile and command posts since the start of Operation Epic Fury. The death toll in Iran now 1,200, according to the Red Crescent Society. This as the region continues to be rocked by this war. James Longman in northern Iraq as explosions could be heard in the background.
Was that a strike?
Yes. Yes. Over there.
We're just in the middle of recording our show and a strike has come in there, not far from our hotel. We're not sure what it is. Bill has been dealing with drone and missile attacks, not necessarily from Iran, but from their proxies here in northern Iraq.
Despite degrading its strike capabilities, Iran's still retaliating, releasing this footage showing a missile launching into the night. Israel widening a second front in Lebanon with multiple waves of attacks on Hezbollah targets in Beirut, ordering hundreds of thousands of people to leave their homes. Residential buildings and businesses destroyed. The Lebanese Health Ministry says at least 123 people have been killed amid the ongoing attacks, nearly 700 wounded. Dramatic videos posted online capturing the moment an Iranian missile struck down an oil facility in Bahrain. The massive explosion seen from a distance. Meanwhile, the lives inside Iran forever changed as we hear what it's like to be in the capital. Omid is a student speaking out about the realities of war.
The most remarkable thing, in my opinion, is that the assassination of the Ayatollah was a wrong decision. It made the supporters of regime very angry, and they are in the streets.
While the conflict escalates, thousands of Americans struggling to evacuate from the region. Overnight, some returning home after days of travel chaos and confusion.
I couldn't be more relieved to be home.
Well, an Iranian MP is now speaking out about that process of selecting a new supreme leader. We know President Trump says that he wants to have a say in it. We're told that they're now down to one of two candidates. Meanwhile, Ukrainian interceptor drone specialists are going to be deployed to the Middle East in the coming days to assist US bases in the region to defend themselves, according to a source in President Zelensky's office.
Okay. Former Presidents Clinton, Obama, and Biden to honor Jesse Jackson at Friday's service. Huh. In Chicago. Of course. Clinton, Obama, Biden, and Harris expected to deliver remarks. Oh, good golly. Tim Tebow just showed Congress, a DOJ map with 338,000 plus dots, red dots. Each one a unique U.S. IP address trading or sharing child abuse material, mostly kids under 12, in the span of 6 months. Barely any blue dots, which are actual investigations.
Every one of those red dot maps is a unique IP address that is downloaded, shared, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And that's just a 6-month screenshot of it. And there are over 338,000 on there. There's blue dots on there. You can't really see them, but the blue ones are the ones that are under investigation. In a sea of red. Isn't that a problem of what we're talking about? Every one of those red dot
maps. Full map. Where'd that go?
Every one of those red dot.
Jeez, dude. Yes. Look at that. Hey. So we have a negative number for February non-farm payroll, a loss. All right, let's see.
We go. So we have a negative number for February non-farm payrolls, a loss of 92,000 jobs. You can see the market reacting. We are also seeing the unemployment rate tick up to 4.4%. A loss of factory jobs of 12,000. Government jobs, a loss of 6,000. Private sector jobs, a loss of 86,000. Average hourly earnings up 3.8%, which is better than expected. But obviously the headline here is what we're seeing within the report. We also got a negative read on January retail sales, 0.2% to the downside. But I do want to say again, it is the jobs report. We're also seeing here again the U6, the unemployment rate, that came in at 7.9%. Labor force participation, 62%. Again, all of these numbers, to be clear here, are the opposite of the estimates that we got. Let me get into the report to give you exactly where the government says that these massive job losses are actually happening. Sticky report, messy report, and I'm going to be looking for revisions here in a moment. Employment and health care decreased, according to the government, reflecting strike activity, which is what Mohammed said.
What the? It was weird.
Negative losses are actually happening. Sticky employment rate, that came in at 7.9%. Labor force participation, 62%. Again, all of these numbers, to be clear here, are the opposite of the estimates that we got. Let me get into the report to give you exactly where the government says that these massive job losses are actually happening. Sticky report, messy report, and I'm going to be looking for revisions here in a moment. Employment and health care decreased, according to the government, reflecting strike activity, which is what Mohammed said to you moments ago, Maria. Employment and information and federal government continue to trend to the downside, according to the federal government. So again, Maria, this report, these numbers are certainly not the expectations whatsoever. A loss of 92,000 jobs. The Street, again, was looking for a gain of 59,000 jobs. And this also flies in the face of the ADP numbers that we got on Wednesday, where we saw actually hiring in the private sector, construction, education, and healthcare. I think sticky is a very key word here and a very noisy report, Maria.
Yeah, and you know what?
Right. Lost our spot here. Okay. There we are. Factory workers' wages have finally recovered from Joe Biden. Not too bad.
As for the retail sales numbers, though, I want to point out that even though, people are going to say, oh, those weren't what expected, it was still up 3.2% year over year in January. And January is always a messy month in retailing because that's when you clear everything out. But that's a pretty good number, 3% growth year over year, much faster than the rate of inflation, for example. So the consumer still seems fundamentally strong.
Hope so. Armed Iranian opposition group that represents the Kurdish ethnic minority told CBS News' Holly Williams that it is in contact with the U.S. government and that both parties have the same goal: the downfall of the Iranian regime. Boy, this sounds vaguely familiar.
7 days into this war, we still don't know what President Trump's endgame is. But a leader in this armed Iranian opposition group told us that they're in contact with the US government and share the same goal: the downfall of the Iranian regime. They say they haven't yet received any direct US support. The Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan represents the Kurdish ethnic minority, around 10% of Iran's population. We visited their base here in northern Iraq in January, around 30 miles from Iran's border. Amaj Zabtayi is a member of their leadership committee. He told us last night that America and Israel's war with Iran is an opportunity, and his party may use it to start an offensive.
Has the United States promised you support if you launch a military action inside Iran against the regime?
I can't answer that question, he said, later telling us it was too sensitive. This morning, we visited the camp of another Iranian Kurdish opposition group, also here in Iraq, that they say was hit by a drone strike last night.
This group believes they were targeted either directly by Iran or by one of the militia groups here in Iraq that's backed by the Iranian regime.
Kurdish forces have teamed up with the US before. We witnessed Kurdish fighters help defeat ISIS in both Iraq and Syria, working hand in hand with the American military. But the Iranian regime is a much more powerful enemy than ISIS, armed with drones and ballistic missiles.
The Iranian opposition groups we've met with in this area are all lightly armed, mainly with Kalashnikovs. They say they hate the regime, but taking it on militarily could be a tall order.
Got the AK. No, Bobo. I was happy on the chair. All right. Mozilla fixes 22 security flaws flagged by Anthropic's AI. They have it out looking for bugs on the internet now. Bexar County, Texas's first openly gay judge, Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez. Really? Speedlin Gonzalez has lost her re-election bid after being indicted for abusing her authority by handcuffing a defense attorney. Andale. Arriba!
Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez became the first openly gay judge to be elected in Bexar County. Within months of taking the bench, a complaint was made by a local defense attorney to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct about the rainbow pride flag she had in her courtroom.
It came across very much like I was being targeted and discriminated against.
And it wasn't just the rainbow pride flag that she was forced to remove.
I was also ordered to remove all rainbows from the courtroom. My mouse pad, the pen that I used, the robe where I had a Sarape colors.
Gonzalez states her disappointment is also because other judges across the state have not been required to remove flags or different color robes from their courtrooms.
Are they going to go to these judges who have an Irish flag in their courtroom or wear a camouflage robe when they want to, or, you know, make sure that out in the rural counties there isn't a Confederate flag flying in some little JP court?
She has since made an appeal on the ruling and is awaiting to get her day in court, which can come later.
Liberal women in Los Angeles are now starting running groups to hunt down ICE agents.
Manila Patrol runners are people from the community who like to run. Our priority when we're running is patrolling. We're looking out if there's any like ICE vehicles or ICE agents in the community. And the communities that we're focusing are El Sereno, Lincoln Heights, Cypress Park, and Highland Park. We meet up at 6 a.m. Runners already wake up that early, and that's the time a lot of people are taking public transportation to go to work, and a lot of vendors are setting up.
When you're out running, you get to observe what cars are familiar, what cars are not familiar, what people are regulars, what people are not regulars. You get to see if something is off.
The first thing is documenting, like exactly like what we see, where it's at, the time, and then blasting.
They're basically LARPing as security.
That out through social media. The next thing would be alerting the community that they are here so they know where to go and where to avoid. When I would run a
nothing better to do with their lives. They have to invent things.
I would already be patrolling, like I would be looking out, and that's when I thought like I could invite more people to
head cases to be studied in a fucking lab. There'll be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender, Trump says. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader or leaders, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again. High-ranking D.C. police official at center of, oh yeah, fudging the crime stats. Placed on leave. Good riddance. Oh, Kim Jong. What's Kim Jong up to? You're just watching missile launches. Excuse me, watching missile launches and shit. Just wearing his funny hat. Watching American movies. Wrestlers running for office in Pennsylvania, huh? All right. Let's see it.
Hey, everybody, this is Scott.
Hi, Scott. I can't hear you. You should turn your volume up, Scott. Yeah, you should definitely do that. Huh? What?
And I just filed to be a state committee person for the Republican Committee of Beaver County. Turned in my money order, turned in 300 signatures.
Yeah.
I only needed 100.
I can't hear it. I got nothing. Well, he's running in, he's running for state committee of Republican committee, or for the Republican committee of Beaver County, Pennsylvania. Jeez. Major Iranian Islamic regime underground bunker totally obliterated.
Leader had planned to hide in if any sort of attack were to take place against his country. The Israeli Air Force used over 50 fighter jets and 100 munitions to strike this underground bunker. And a senior Israeli official telling Fox News that when the supreme leader was killed, he was actually above ground. He never made it to the bunker that they destroyed overnight. And this official says the result was exactly what planners had hoped for. Khamenei stayed above ground, and the opening strike of Operation Epic Fury found him right there. Now, today, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding security consultations with his cabinet to determine the next steps in phase 2 of this operation. And again, we expect these strikes to expand and continue in the days ahead. The Iranians are still launching their attacks against Israel. Overnight, ballistic missiles soared through the skies of this country. You can see in some Fox News video here, one of those missiles overshooting its target and slamming into the Mediterranean Sea. This happened a number of times, and sirens sounding once again this morning across Tel Aviv. Now, the Israelis say they are dismantling Iran's ballistic missile launchers, hitting another 6 of those launchers overnight. And Israel's chief of staff had this to say earlier today about the ongoing operation.
I am in continuous contact with my American counterparts, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Dan Kane, and the commander of CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper. We are fighting based on shared interests and values. In this war, shoulder to shoulder, they are true friends. Through coordinated action, we are stripping the regime of its military capabilities and bringing it to strategic isolation and a point of weakness in which it has never been before.
The Israelis are looking east, but they're also looking north to the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. They're striking Beirut hard overnight and into this morning. You could see that smoke earlier rising from the skyline.
All right. Who dis? Sam Asghari left Iran for a better life in America.
I mean, it's been 47 years that the Iranian people have been fighting this fight against the regime, and they wanted nothing to do with this government. The difference between the Iran's government and its people is miles far. I mean, our understanding, our culture, even the language they speak is completely different. And the people of Iran are in love with America, and they love America.
It depends on the people.
Just like I do, just like we do.
There are plenty of people there that are 100% fans of that old regime, unfortunately. Seems like it kind of a split.
Happy that this situation is happening to make it clear to this world that we stand with America and we stand with a free world, and we want nothing to do with what's happening there with the government. I mean, it's been 47 years that the Iranian people
Has it on jobs and the economy. All right.
Jim's right that there have been so many strong indicators this month that it's something of a surprise, but there's some weather, there are strikes on the West Coast, and I think that we also have this birth-death model, the change in the procedure at the BLS. And so I think what we need to start doing with these jobs numbers, at least on the payroll side, is take the average over a few months. And if you take the average over a few months, we had a surprisingly positive one last month and a surprisingly negative one this one. But on average, it's about what we expect to be seeing, because immigration has gone down by so much that break-even employment is probably in the sort of 30 or 40,000 jobs a month range. And so, yeah, I think it's consistent with everything else we're seeing, which is that the economy is really strong. And the headline for me is something that I'm sure you guys probably already noticed, is that productivity is about the highest we've ever seen. And manufacturing wages are up year over year by $2,400 now. And so what we're seeing is a productivity boom, which is consistent with the strong output. And you can have strong output and not really, magnificent job growth if there's a big gain in productivity. But workers getting rewarded for that productivity.
Yeah. Kind of key. Kids in the Oval Office. Nice. Having fun. Cute. Trump officials broker massive U.S.-Venezuela gold deal? Huh? What? Multi-million-dollar deal to sell as many as 1,000 kilos of gold destined for U.S. markets. Petition to require voter ID and limit voting to U.S. citizens gains momentum in California. Reportedly surpassing the 875,000 signatures needed to qualify for the November ballot. Oh, man, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Pakistani man claims Iran blackmailed him into a murder-for-hire scheme against Trump. What?
A Pakistani national says Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps blackmailed him into a murder-for-hire scheme against President Trump and others. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza is live outside the courthouse in Brooklyn, where this trial is playing out. So, Marcus, what did the suspect reveal about Iran's tactics?
Hey, Marky, good morning. Yeah, really interesting. Asif Merchant is actually representing himself in his defense here in this trial. And you laid it out right there. He said that he was under pressure from Iran in order to carry out this plot that he's being accused of here. He said he was doing it to protect his wife and daughter back in Tehran. So this was something that he was doing out of obviously something to protect his family from. That is his defense right now. Prosecutors say Merchant came to the U.S. in 2024 and looked for people he thought could do a number of things, 3 specifically: steal documents, stage a protest as a distraction, and kill a, quote, political person. Now, the politicians on his alleged hit list, that included Presidents Trump and Biden and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Now, the government's court filing says Merchant was connected to a confidential source, then met 2, quote, hitmen who were actually undercover FBI agents, and allegedly paid them in advance of $5 grand in cash in New York. While testifying again in his own defense, Merchant said he knew the plan would fail as soon as he landed in Houston and immigration searched his bags. In fact, he was questioned for hours there. He said he knew the government was watching, but that the IRGC was as well. Merchant arrested in late July 2024 while trying to leave the United States. Now, prosecutors are pushing back on this claim. They're saying there's really no proof or evidence that he was under duress from Iran. So that is what they are going with there. And then also, that has been mentioned as well, is that there was an attack killing somebody in Iran who had an attempted plot to kill President Trump. Unclear if Merchant is connected to that person in any way for this plot assassination attempt. But for its part, Iran has denied any sort of political assassinations of any political figures in America.
Yeah,
scary.
Iran made me do it. I mean, hey, can't blame them for trying, right? Yeah, okay. Trump announces he's deploying the greatest Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to handle Cuba, which he says is going to fall soon.
Said, without being asked, Cuba is going to fall pretty soon, by the way, but Cuba is going to fall. They want to make a deal so badly. And I asked, how so? He said, they want to make a deal, so I'm going to put Marco over there, and we'll see how that works. But we're really focused on this one now, meaning Iran. We've got plenty of time on Cuba. He said, without being asked, Cuba is going to fall pretty soon, by the way.
Oh yeah, only a matter of time. At this rate. Okay, well that's the top of the list there. And we still got like 30 minutes left. What are we gonna do with ourselves now? Dooby dooby doop 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 doo. Okay, what this? 16 hours. This was yesterday afternoon. Yeah. It seemed kind of boring, you know. Yeah. All right, well, keep looking. Come on. Refresh. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. What? Are they launching it? Get out of here. Hold up. I gotta see it. The engine is strong enough, you should be able to build real products on top of it. So the point of LTX 2.3, did it launch? Open source? Oh, fuck. How did I miss that? Oh my goodness. Heck yeah. All right. How big is it? Can it fit on my computer? Optimal 30. Oof. Okay, yeah. Man, well, I know what I'm doing after I get off air. I'm going to be playing with some AI videos here. Let's see some samples.
2.3 is out. So finally, LTX 2.3 is out.
Wow. All right, well, let's see what the latest in open source video models can do. Have a look. Samples, please. Come on.
Even better. Just got even better. LTX 2.3 is not just a graphics improvement. It's a consistent engine you can rely on. Sharper details, stronger motion, with the same speed and efficiency, even on consumer-grade hardware. Better prompt understanding. Clearer audio.
I don't understand. I heard him talk this morning. I swear.
Oh, wow,
and
that
native
is
vertical
much better than the old one.
video. But high-quality output means nothing if you can't control it. Precise motion control across generations with first and last frame, and motion guidance. This isn't just a video model. It's a production-ready engine designed to be built on, fine-tuned, and to be made your own. LTX 2.3 is open source and available now for free.
Man. This is going to be quite a year. A lot of crazy stuff happening in the tech world right now. Oh, is that what you're using? Zhap? How do you pronounce your name? Jap? Sounds offensive. You Jap. Zhap. Zap. We'll go Zap. I don't know. So that's what you use? Yeah. Yeah, I got it too. I got it on my computer here. LTX is quite good. But 2.3 I have I've been waiting for a while now. Because LTX 2, as fun as it is, was kind of like, yeah, like the audio quality was kind of shitty, and let's see it.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew.
Real creative work isn't about generating videos anymore. It's about powering your production with a model that understands your process. LTX Studio, now powered by LTX 2.3, is designed to reduce revisions and accelerate creative production for teams who don't just create, but deliver. Portrait video generation.
Wow. So, okay, well, that's good news. Looks like they improved it for use with anime. It was highly lacking
Motion
before.
Guidance with first and last frame. Native 4K video with industry standard.
It's about to get weird. It's gonna be a weird year. I literally right now, as we speak, as I've been doing the show, I've had stuff coding in the background, been going back and forth with it. Have multiple fresh businesses just launched, running on their own. I mean, we'll see how they do. I only just launched them yesterday. Off. I don't want to say what they're doing because I don't want to give away the ideas, but they are off doing stuff. They are doing stuff. They're finding leads and talking to people, trying to close sales, all on their own. I don't even do anything. I don't do anything. Took a couple weeks to set it up, mind you, but now that it's going, see, I'll let you know, as soon as I make my first buck, my first automated dollar. Certainly be nice. Yeah, anyway, it's about to get, it's gonna be a weird year. It's gonna be a very weird year. You're probably gonna see that mainstreamed by year end. I'm lucky to be getting in early. Hopefully I am in early enough to, kind of get my bearings and actually make some money before the whole thing is just like wide open, At this point, there's still a rather large barrier to entry. You have to be at least somewhat of a tech nerd to be able to set all this stuff up right now. That's not changing for at least the next 6 months or so. But as soon as it's crossed this threshold where it doesn't need that from me, and it's able to do all this hard stuff itself, basically, and anyone can interface with it and set it up and whatnot. As soon as that barrier to entry's gone, oh man, I don't know. It's gonna look different. Right now, I think I'm still in the 1% of the 1%, trying to play with things that most people just don't understand or have patience for. But you watch. By the end of this year, all this stuff I'm talking about with these automated agents and businesses run entirely by agents, top to bottom. You watch. It'll be a thing by year end. And not just a thing, it'll be mainstream. Like, it'll be everywhere. Businesses are gonna be made and broken overnight. Millionaires and billionaires minted, and vice versa, overnight. It's gonna be a weird year, dude. I'm trying to be there for it. Trying to get some money in the process. I'm trying to be one of the ones that ride upwards, not the other way, please. I'm optimistic, though, I gotta say, based on what I've seen. Well, I do think it's going to get bumpy, and obviously people are going to be losing jobs. I don't think that's going to be the end of the story, and I think it is going to end up in a much better place than people think. We'll see. Show me some more LTX 2.3. And frick, I gotta download it. Oh gosh. Oh, how do I do all that shit again? Yeah, let's do it. Input. Dooby dooby doop 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 doo. All right, now can I do it? One, 2, 7. Is that it? No. Maybe it's. Nope. Oh. Sorry. Waiting for it to boot up here still. Not done. There it is. Okay. I was right. 8188. Cannot import. What's going on here? There we go. All right. Yeah, I need to oh, whoa. Man, it's all changed. Wow. This looks confusing to you. Don't worry. It confuses me too. This is where the magic is made. This is where the AI sausage is made. AI video and images. What it looks like. Confusing, right? Input file here. And it works its way through dozens of little boxes and transforms and all math equations backing every single one of those boxes until it spits it out the other side with a new image. It fascinates the heck out of me. I love learning about this stuff. Last couple years. If your brain is stimulated by learning things like that, take a dive into this stuff. It's a lot of fun. All right, anyway, point of being here was getting the model downloading. Do they have it here yet? No. Nope, not yet. Haven't made the templates yet. It's too fresh. All right. Well, let's see what time we got. 10:38. I don't know what we're gonna put on here the remainder of our time, but not White House. Let's see here. I guess we could play around some more with codecs. Speaking of, they've got a Windows app now. Come on, where'd it go? My codec set. Not cooperating. Hold, please.
Hey,
Oh,
yo,
there he
Cam.
is. What's up?
I can come to the rescue.
Yeah, if you
I can
got
bail you out.
stuff to cover, you go right ahead. I'm out of stuff, so
I got so much stuff that I'm
cool,
sure
bro. I
I can
appreciate that.
cover. So
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
All right, well, I'll let you get going then, man.
So you have a great day.
I will.
You have a great
I'm gonna
day.
go have some fun, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. Later.
All right. Well, got rescued. Here we go. I'm still on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Yeah, if you haven't if you haven't toyed with this latest in AI tech, highly recommend it. Familiarize yourself with it a little bit. You can build some amazing things with it if you are so inclined. Let me add a new project here. Let's see. Okay. New folder. Playground. There we are. Yeah, it's still a little confusing. I don't think a layperson would really be able to find their way around codecs without having some like basic coding knowledge. You know, forks and branches and trees and Git stuff and all kinds of stuff works. But if you're willing to do a little learning, it's not too bad. A layperson can pick it up with a little dedication, a little bit of time. So if you've got that, I highly recommend going to play around with this stuff. Especially right now, it's actually I think it's free. OpenAI's Codex, I think, is currently, yeah, they list it only under the paid stuff, but I'm pretty sure they're offering it under the free plan right now. So you don't even have to be paying. Yeah, offering limited free access to 5.3 codecs, which is great. It's not the top, but it's like it was just a couple days ago. Yeah, download this and play with it. It'll blow your mind. Like, just ask it to build stuff. Whatever you can think of. Anything. Any old thing. And I do mean, like, pretty much anything. Like, if you have ever had an idea for a website, let's try, I don't know. Build me a website that transforms what? MP3 files into WAV files. And it just goes. That's all I had to do. And I mean, we'll see what it comes up with. I've never tried something like that short and nondescript. We'll see what it does with just like 10 words there. Build me a website that transforms MP3 files into WAV files. I mean, it can be literally like any damn thing you can think of. It's crazy. Fascinating. Watching it work. Let me put the code on here. Look at this. Confirm there's no existing app. Creating a standalone static site. Client-side MP3 to WAV converter with drag and drop upload, conversion, preview, and download. Just like that. And it didn't even have to be a website either. I could have had it make a Windows app. I think now even Mac apps. I think you can do iOS as of just a week or so ago. Oh. Let's put it on fast. How does that work? Nope, doesn't work here. All right. Come back to that in a few minutes, but usually doesn't take, but I don't know, 5-10 minutes. If it's an especially complex one, I think it can take longer than that, but it's crazy, man. Just a year or two ago, you would have had to pay thousands of dollars to hire someone to build, what you wanted. Now you can just describe it, pay 20 bucks a month, if that. OpenAI and Sam Altman creep me out, but dude, this is like, there's no denying how insane this tech is. Incredible. There's the code so far. Wow. How did people ever code manually, by the way, before? Like, how did that... Like, just watching what they had to type and bit, like, all the different variables and terms and... Oh, like, it's just insane. Like, how did they ever fit it all up here? How did they ever do this manually? Blows my mind. Oh, hold on. What do we got here? Playwright MCP server wants to run the tool browser navigate. Sure, you can do that. Anytime it wants to do something sensitive, it stops and asks for your approval. See, right there. Playwright MCP wants to run the tool browser install. May modify data and access external systems. Should I allow this action? Yep, go ahead. In the next 5 or 10 minutes or so, we should have a custom MP3 to WAV website. Not that we need that, because there's literally tens of thousands of those, but point is, if you can think of it, you can do it. Crazy. Open index.html. Okay. Oh, wait, it's done? Apparently? Okay. Interesting. Like it still has some troubleshooting data. It's not done yet. Generate code. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I got more playing to do. Right now though, I gotta go hit the restroom. I'm done. That's it for me. No more. Wish I could stay, but go have fun. Go play with this stuff. It's mind blowing, fascinating stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon, Saturday afternoon. All right, bye bye.